The supernatural thriller from Netflix has been a breakout hit, garnering millions of views, thousands of fan theories, and a few incredibly wealthy children. With the extreme popularity of the show that keeps us coming back to the Upside Down, it's really no surprise that the cast should be paid a hefty amount for entertaining their millions of viewers. But exactly how rich they are may shock you. So hold on to your eyebrows as we get into why the Stranger Things cast is even richer than you can imagine. Millie Bobby Brown. Well, just start off with the girl that has won everybody's heart. 11 is the one we have rooted for since day one, when she was just an awkward yet somehow terrifying lost little girl that just wandered into the world. But the girl behind the mussed-up hair and dirty face is Millie Bobby Brown. She began acting in 2013 when she was just 9 years old. She appeared in Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, playing a young Alice. She then had a few guest appearances on shows like Modern Family and Grey's Anatomy. But in 2016, Millie really hit her stride with Stranger Things, attracting an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series, making her one of the youngest Emmy nominees in history. It's really no surprise that her on-screen talents have grabbed her more than a few bucks for the bank account. The debut season of Stranger Things saw Millie taking about $20,000 per episode, putting her into the B tier, meaning she was making less than some of her already famous co-stars, like Winona Ryder. Now, $20,000 per episode is nothing to sneer at, especially considering the cast also received a $60,000 bonus after the show proved to be a huge success. Season 2 saw about the same salary, but Season 3 is a different story altogether. She was raking in a reported $300,000 per episode. That's $2.4 million for the season. This puts her at just a tad behind her A-tier co-stars, but above her B-tier ones. Add to that the $1 million she received for her role in Godzilla, and we have an absolutely unstoppable force of a teenager on our hands. With the rising popularity, the cash flow doesn't stop with her main gig of acting. The young actress has also modeled for Converse and Calvin Klein, and her Instagram page with millions of followers sees her bringing in tons of advertising deals and collaborations. All told, her net worth is estimated to be at about $4 million. Finn Wolfhard. Finn plays Mike Wheeler, arguably the leading kid star on the show. Like Millie Bobby Brown, Wolfhard had a few bit parts before his true rise to fame with Stranger Things. He had a small role in The 100 and another in Supernatural, and made his film debut in the 2017 film adaptation of Stephen King's It, also coincidentally set in the 80s and focused on a mostly child cast. He also got a ton more roles lined up for the future, assuming he ever gets a break from shooting Stranger Things. Like Millie Bobby Brown, Finn Wolfhard is placed in the B tier for salary on the show. He made the usual $20,000 per episode for seasons 1 and 2, and also received the $60,000 bonus after season 1. However, Finn also participated in some serious salary negotiations for season 3, winning him $250,000 per episode. At the moment, he is a more prolific actor than many of his castmates, set to appear in the upcoming films It, Chapter 2, The Goldfinch, the animated Addams Family remake, and Ghostbusters 3. This brings his net worth to just about $3 million. Gaten Matarazzo. The actor that plays our favorite baby-faced boy of the whole bunch, Dustin, is yet another teenage millionaire. Unlike most of his stars, Gaten Matarazzo began his acting career on stage in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and Les Mis. It wasn't until his role on The Blacklist in 2015 that the young actor found his way into the silver screen. It was no surprise with his unique looks and incredible acting skills that he was scooped up by the Stranger Things directors. Like his fellow actors in the not-so-lowly B tier, Gaten was pocketing a mere $20,000 in season 1. However, 2 years later, he was raking in $2 million for the first season, which is definitely nothing to sneer at. Like most of the cast, most of Gaten's income is from the popularity of Stranger Things. But that's not all. Gaten is a hustler, and as such is harvesting a bounty of endorsement deals from the likes of Old Navy, as well as guest spots on Lip Sync Battle with the rest of his co-stars. Gaten's impressive net worth sits around $4 million. Caleb McLaughlin. Playing Lucas Sinclair, Caleb is one of the older kid stars, now 17 years old. That's still pretty young to have the net worth he is reported to have, a whopping $3 million. While most of this comes from his Stranger Things earnings, we can't leave out the fact that his breakout role was playing the part of young Simba in The Lion King on Broadway. An incredibly demanding role, Caleb hit it out of the park and played the role for 2 whole years before moving across country to Los Angeles for his television role in Stranger Things. Receiving $20,000 for the first season was nothing to sneer at for Caleb, and being in the B tier didn't bother him in the least. In fact, Caleb treated himself to a brand new pair of shoes with his new paycheck. He revealed on an episode of First We Feast's Truth or Dab that there are these shoes called Jordan Wings that I bought. And even though shoes cost hundreds of dollars, McLaughlin generally tries to remain frugal. I don't really spend that much, he says. With a sensible approach to finances, we can bet that Caleb will hold on to his millions for a while. Natalia Dyer. One of the older stars in the show, Natalia Dyer plays Nancy Wheeler, older sister to Mike. Having been on the planet longer than many of her young co-stars, she has a hefty filmography and came into Stranger Things with a lot of acting experience under her tiny belt. However, Stranger Things is her first and so far only television role. Her career debut at age 12 saw her on the big screen in Hannah Montana, the movie, starring Miley Cyrus. It was a small part, but now at age 24, Dyer is finding her own fame and fortune in Stranger Things. Her season 1 salary is unknown, though she was listed even lower than her younger co-stars as a C-tier player. She likely received the same bonus after the first season, though her salary didn't go up until season 3, where she was making $150,000 per episode. The role has contributed most to her $2 million net worth. As an actual adult, Natalia has more of an opportunity to spend her earnings however she wants. And for her, this means clothes. Clothes can really change how you see yourself, your mood, your confidence. I like to play around with it, she says of her affinity for high fashion. Her favorite designers are Dolce & Gabbana and Christian Dior, so it's clear she's putting her salary to good use. Charlie Heaton. The 25-year-old actor portrays the part of Jonathan Byers, a quiet, sullen amateur photography nerd who gets picked on quite a lot in Stranger Things. The role is very different from Charlie's actual life. He began his road to fame as a drummer in a London-based noise rock band called Comaneci before joining psychedelic band Half Loon. 5 years later, he made his acting debut with some small roles in crime and medical dramas. Just 1 year after that, he starred in the film Shut In with Naomi Watts, as well as beginning his role as Jonathan in Stranger Things. As a non-established actor and non-primary cast member of the show, Charlie was receiving an unknown salary for the first 2 seasons. As it is unknown, and because he was in a lower tier than the child stars, we can assume it was less than $20,000 per episode. Of course, at even just half that, he'd still be making more than most people in the real world. When negotiations heated up for season 3, he came out making $150,000 per episode. Appearing in all 8 episodes of the season means he was raking in $1.2 million. That and his upcoming role in the Marvel film The New Mutants brings his net worth to $250,000. Not having the millions his co-stars have doesn't mean Charlie stays in every night. Instead, he and off-screen girlfriend Natalia Dyer have been spotted having a grand old time in the Italian island of Capri, dining together late into the night. Joe Keery. Joe joined the cast in season 1, playing Nancy Wheeler's boyfriend. The character comes off as a bit mean, bullying Jonathan for no reason at all, other than kind of being a dweeb. But the actors playing these 2 roles have a bit more common in real life. Like Charlie Heaton, Joe is also a musician, playing guitarist in a garage psych rock band in Chicago. While he no longer tours with the band, he's released some of his own singles in July and August of 2019 under the name D-Joe. Is that D-Joe? DeJoe? Anyway, like his bullying victim and on-screen girlfriend, Joe Keery is listed as C-tier in season 1 and 2, meaning he was making less than the kid stars. The exact salary per episode is unknown, though we can be sure it was around $10,000. Now, however, the bad boy turned good guy is making around $150,000 per episode. However, because his acting includes several other projects, like roles in Empire and Chicago Fire, not to mention a Ryan Reynolds movie due out next year, Joe Keery is looking at a net worth of around $2.7 million. Noah Schnapp. playing the character of Will Byers. Noah was absent from a lot of Season 1 of Stranger Things, having been spirited away to the Upside Down. His disappearance was the catalyst into the whole conflict of Season 1, but the actor was paid much less than his co-stars. He reportedly received a mere $10,000 per episode. While this comparatively sounds like very little when you consider that most of the other stars were making double, this is still a whole lot more than regular people might make for a few days' work. While he did receive that $60,000 bonus for the success of the first season, his salary went up to $20,000 per episode for Season 2, as he was bumped up to be listed as a series regular, now that he was alive again and well. For Season 3, he was able to negotiate his salary up like the rest of his castmates. Now he is reportedly earning $250,000 per episode, which means he'll be making about $2 million for the whole season. Add to this his appearances in Bridge of Spies and the Peanuts movie, and he's got an astounding net worth of $3 million. Winona Ryder. Our list would not be complete if we didn't discuss the matron of the show, Winona Ryder. Ms. Ryder is known for many roles and has appealed to audiences for a couple of generations, starring in movies like Little Women, Girl Interrupted, Beetlejuice, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and Alien Resurrection means she attracts all different types of filmgoers and television watchers. Her versatile acting style and long-standing Hollywood presence made her perfect for the role. She brought a level of stardom to the cast of mostly otherwise unknown actors. For her efforts, she received $100,000 per episode in the first season of Stranger Things. However, along with the rest of the cast, Ryder was able to negotiate her salary up for the third season, gaining an impressive $350,000 per episode. This means she was receiving almost $3 million for the whole season. However, because she's been around for quite some time, Ryder's got a whole lot of income to create her $18 million net worth. Aside from acting, she has also served as a spokesperson for brands like L'Oreal and H&M. However, we're pretty sure that she is not snubbing the role that's keeping her culturally relevant to yet another generation that's lucky enough to see her on screen.